A couple 100 yards before the sailboat would have drifted into the St. John's Bridge downstream, a large rescue boat arrived with its red lights spinning. Abby was airlifted from the middle of the river by helicopter and taken to the hospital. Another Coast Guard boat towed what was left of the Arctic loon to a boatyard that would buy it from Chad for salvage. Later, as the sun rose, Chad arrived at the hospital. The doctors made sure that he could see Abby when she regained consciousness, but her parents were there and didn't want to be in the emergency room with him. They had always been reticent in Chad's presence, which he attributed to their stolid religiosity, up until now that Abby's arm and chest and her pelvis were all crushed. Chad lost track of how many fractures there were as the doctors listed them. He didn't know there were so many ribs in a body to be crushed. For days after the accident, over the course of several surgeries, her parents pushed past him to hear what the surgeons had to say, nudged him out of the way to be at her side, and crowded him out of the circle of relatives that made a ring around her bed. She was asleep most of the time, but when her eyes were open, she'd only briefly meet his gaze. She spoke little, and when she did, it was to her parents. Chad slept on a bench just outside Abby's room or pretended to sleep while her parents were there. He tried to sleep sitting up, couldn't, then tried laying on his side, balancing his broken arm in its sling to keep it from moving or sliding downward. He sat by Abby's side and held her hand and spoke to her when her parents weren't there. "It's all right," she said. "I should have been helping you more. I let you do more work than one person could do. So don't blame yourself." But of course he blamed himself. Her parents made arrangements without him knowing. After 2 weeks, Abby went straight from the hospital back to living with them. With no more hospital benches or chairs to sleep on, and no home left to go to, Chad camped out in his Volvo in front of her parents' house. He would knock at the door sometimes, and sometimes Abby's mother would answer and let him in for a few minutes. Sometimes no one came to the door, even though their cars were there in the driveway. After a while, her mother began to call the police, standing in the front window with one hand on her hip, and the police would come and ask Chad to leave the area. The last time he returned and knocked on their door, Abby's father, who never once met Chad's eye after the accident, wheeled her out onto the front porch so Chad could sign papers and say goodbye. The doctors thought that she would mostly recover with about 75% of her upper body mobility. Chad never really witnessed the full extent of the damage you've done, her mother said during that final visit. He continued to call and plead, but Abby's phone number eventually changed. It was over.